Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Special Olympics Minnesota's Revealing Special Olympics Champions. I'm Danny, and I'm a program and athlete leadership manager here with Special Olympics Minnesota. Many of you probably recognize me from several of these broadcasts we do, and lots of fun we've been having over the last couple of years. So today we've got an amazing broadcast for you all to check out. You're going to meet some incredible people. You're going to hear some really neat things that they have coming along. And Nell, hello, Nell.
Hello, everybody.
And Nell is going to be your host today. So along with Lou Ann Kelly. Hi, Lou Ann. So Nell's going to take it from here, and she's going to introduce our guests and talk about our main topic today. So go ahead, Nell.
All right. Hello, everybody. So today we are going to be talking with some guests from those that are going to be going to USA Games. So we've got Kelly Monicatti, and she's Special Olympics staff. And then we've got Lucy Haugland and Kendra Bush, and that are athletes going. And then we've got Nancy Schwindel that's going to be coaching. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
So Kelly, I'll let you get started, and you can kind of go through your spiel, and then I'll go through the questions.
What's my spiel now? I thought I was
talking just about kind of explaining about what's happening with USA Games, kind of how many people are going, how many, or where it's going to be held.
All right. So we have our upcoming 2022 USA Games happening in Orlando, Florida. Our team is about 144 people, and that includes our coaches, staff, unified partners, and athletes. And we are competing in 10 sports down at the games. We leave on June 4th. Opening ceremonies is on June 5th. And then we'll compete all week long and then return to Minnesota with lots of bling on June 12th. We're super excited. So Lucy Haugland is going for gymnastics, and Kendra Bush is on one of our half-court basketball teams. And then Nancy Schwindel will be coaching bocce this year. So those are 3 of our 10 sports that will be going. We're just really, really excited. There's a lot going on with some last minute details and last practices to get our athletes all ready to go. But lots of enthusiasm coming around the corner, and we're just super excited about the opportunity for our athletes to show their skills down in Florida and compete against many other athletes from all across the country.
And how many are going total from Minnesota?
Yep. So we have 144 is our delegation. And, as I said, that includes everybody from coaches to unified partners to athletes. We have 79 athletes competing and 27 unified partners. So a lot of our sports this time we are taking unified. And so we do have a good number of unified partners going down with us for most of our sports too.
All right. Well, thank you. So what are you coaching in or competing in?
Do you want to jump around to everybody? So Nancy, do you want to talk about your bocce team?
I would love to talk about bocce. We have 4 athletes, 4 unified partners. So we will be doing, the athletes will do singles, and then they'll do unified doubles and unified team. So we're ready to go. We had our last practice on Saturday.
You're very excited. Lucy, you want to talk about what events you're going to be doing at the gymnastics facility?
Yes, so I'll be doing gymnastics. I do bars, balls, court, and balls.
Excellent. And Lucy will be doing, I think it's level 2. Is that right, Lucy?
Yep.
Level 2. It's going to be very exciting. And then Kendra is part of one of our half-court basketball teams. We have 2 of them. So there's 6 athletes on each team of our half-court team. And Kendra, do you want to talk about how practices have been going?
Yeah, we have had practices once a month. We just had our last practice this last Sunday, and it went really well. I think our team is ready for Florida, and we cannot wait to go down there and play basketball and have fun.
Awesome.
Great.
I have a question. I know Kelly has been to USA Games before, but have any of the rest of you? Or is this your first time to get to go?
This is my first time.
Awesome.
Lucy's first time, Kendra's first time. Nancy, you want to? Nancy's one of our veteran coaches. We take a good mix of new coaches and veteran coaches, which is helpful to everyone, to have some new folks learn the ropes and some veterans to teach them the ropes. So Nancy, do you want to talk about where you've been?
Absolutely. I have been to every game so far because Kelly, the silly woman, keeps picking me. It's all good for me, though. And each time is very special and very different. And if it's your first time, you will have a blast. You'll be excited, exhausted, and any other E word you can think of because it's going to be a good time.
That sounds so fun. I'm so excited to hear all about it when you guys get back.
We'll have lots of stories to tell, that's for sure. We'll be exhausted, so you might have to wait a couple days. We always joke that we rest when we get home because it's pretty busy while we're there, but definitely.
That's awesome. Have either of you been to Disney World before?
Actually, I have.
Have you been to all the parks, Lucy?
Actually, yes.
Yeah. And just one time or many times?
Just one time.
Just one time.
With my
Awesome.
family.
Sure. How about you, Kendra?
I have
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What was that, Lucy?
I'm also scared of rides too. So
Scared of rides.
yeah.
I don't think you're alone there.
You and I can sit it out, Lucy.
Perfect.
I have never been to Disney World before, so that would be my first time.
That's awesome. You are going to love it. So the cool thing about this games is that everyone in the delegation will actually get to go to Disney parks twice while they're there.
Wow.
So they'll get to go to Animal Kingdom on one day and Magic Kingdom on another day. So you'll get to experience two things, Kendra and Lucy, see what's changed since you were there maybe. But it should be really exciting to be able to do that 2 times during the week and fit that in with all your competitions too. So that speaks to how tired you'll be, but it'll be worth it.
And Dave Persons put in the chat, since some of you are first time going, do you have butterflies in your stomach?
Probably, yes. Nervous.
A little nervous?
Yeah.
How about you, Lucy? You nervous?
Yeah, a little bit. Not really.
Fair.
How long?
There's a comment from Emily, our coworker. Hi, Emily.
Hey, Emily.
Hey, Emily.
Awesome.
Hey,
You guys
Emily.
remember Emily? So she's saying congrats and so fun. She's been to a USA game, so she knows what you're about to expect.
How long have you been training or prepping for USA Games?
That's a great question. Lucy, how much have you been practicing?
I've been doing gymnastics for 17 years.
Leading up to this games, huh?
Yeah.
And what about lately? Have you stopped gymnastic practice at all, or you do that year round?
Actually, year round.
I know a lot of our gymnasts do year round. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And how about you, Kendra? Have you been practicing hard outside those once a month practices?
Yes. Our team has been practicing once a month. And then I do a lot of training on my own. I go to the gym once a week, and I try to train like 5 days a week. And at least 2 of the days work on basketball skills.
Perfect. Yeah, One of the things about USA Games, and Nancy can maybe speak to this, but we do ask the coaches to put together some practice plans that athletes can do at home leading up to the games, because all of our athletes that go to USA Games are really from across the state, and it's hard to get, this is kind of a big state, right? It's hard to get everybody together super often like you would with your regular local team. And so, Nancy, can you kind of maybe speak a little bit about the expectation that our coaches have for our athletes that are competing?
Absolutely. For our team, or in all the teams, especially last year in Seattle, we walked a lot. So we try to get them to understand that walking is very important to build up that stamina, because those parks are kind of big. You're going to be walking all over the place. And then getting off the sodas, the juices, trying to get more water into us. I like that the Fitbits were given out again this year. Kind of bummed that coaches couldn't be on it this time. I think I was more competitive than my athletes, but it's all good. But yes, trying to make it an all-around healthy thing, and not just even the sport, but just trying to get in a better frame of getting enough sleep, getting enough water, and just really getting ready for the games, because you're going to be tired. I'll guarantee it. So if you get time to sleep, I'd sleep.
You're going to need lots of water in Florida with the heat and humidity.
That we will. At least it's gotten warm here now. Not going to go from the winter coat right into it. So
true. It looks like a couple people were asking what you're looking most forward to.
That's a perfect question. Yeah. Lucy, what do you think about when you think about USA Games? Something you're really looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to being celebrity ambassadors.
Definitely. Yep. It's going to feel like you're a celebrity. Those cameras are going to be rolling, and people are going to be asking you questions, and you got to be kind and answer them all, right?
It's definitely.
There you go. How about you, Kendra? What are you looking forward to most?
I'm looking forward to meeting new people, representing Minnesota, and competing in my favorite sport at the next level, and just having a good time, and bonding with my team and coaches and everyone else.
Sure.
So Kelly,
hold on, let's ask Nancy, because she's probably looking forward to something too.
Yeah.
Oh, I always look forward to the games for different reasons, because when I was lucky enough to go to Greece back in 2011, and some of my athletes that went there will be in Florida, so I'll get to see them and some of the coaches, but also getting to watch and meet some new people from Minnesota, because I don't always know all of you until, through Special Olympics, I've gotten to know Nell a little bit, I've gotten to know Kelly a lot, and some of the other athletes. So I love, now that we're back to state meets, I get to see people. It's a good thing.
Yes, definitely.
Lifelong friendships.
So Kelly, I was going to ask, how many athletes are going to be at USA Games? Do you have any idea?
Oh gosh, I should have looked that up before I jumped on here, and I didn't. So my apologies. However, I want to say, it's a couple thousand for sure.
Wow.
It's a big undertaking. There's a whole games organizing committee specifically for these games.
Mm-hmm.
There are just so many moving pieces to make sure that our athletes have the time of their life. And I think if we all go into it with a lot of understanding and flexibility, and knowing that no matter what happens, it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to have some really great stories. Then that's what we come back with. And we're going to meet athletes from Alaska and Hawaii and Maine. And you're just going to really connect with a lot of people. We do pin trading, and so that gives a good opportunity to have conversation starters, right? You go over and talk to that competitor with your pin. And so that helps a lot. And so Kendra, to, speak to being able to meet new people. And Nancy obviously has been able to do that and can speak to how cool it is to be able to do that. That's a big part of the games. And with thousands of athletes there, you'll get to meet many, many people.
So exciting. to meet that many people all involved in the same organization.
Mm-hmm.
Have you received your team uniform and do you like it?
How about you, Lucy? Have you gotten your uniform?
Yes, I love mine.
So Lucy has gotten her gymnastics leotard, but she hasn't gotten the rest of her gear. And I know that because I just dropped it off to her coach a couple hours ago. And I doubt you've seen your coach in that amount of time, Lucy.
Yeah.
But those gymnastics leotards are pretty nice. Lots of bling on there. And
Oh, fun.
yep, 2 of them, a practice leotard and a competition leotard, right? I'm learning all this new
Yes.
gymnastics lingo.
I do have a picture of it too.
Do you have a picture?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
I wonder if we could, is there a way we can figure out how to show that? Can you just
Yep.
put it up there?
I have it right on my phone.
We'll see if Lucy can show us the beautiful leotards that their group gets to wear. And then,
Right
oh,
here.
go ahead. We're ready.
Oh, wow.
That's nice.
Yeah.
There you go. And so that's Anna Stankovitz, Lucy's teammate.
Yeah.
And that's the rest of our gymnastics crew in their gear. So that's Pierce Panaz and Josh Skordal joining Lucy and Anna there. So they did get to try their uniforms on a few days ago. I'm glad you like them, Lucy.
Wow, they're pretty nice.
And then Kendra, I know you guys got your uniforms at the last practice, correct?
Yes, we did. We got them this past Sunday, and I love them. I think the uniforms are very nice, and all the clothing.
There you go. It looks like maybe you're wearing one of the jackets. I know we're headed to Florida, and people say, why on earth did you give everybody a jacket? But I know we have swimmers who are going to be getting out of the pool and need something. We've got gymnasts who might need a little something. What I know about Florida is it's hot, 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 but then you jump out into the inside, and the air conditioning can be a little much.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to make sure everybody is comfortable and still can represent Minnesota no matter what they're wearing. So we're super thankful to our staff and our board and our donors to be able to provide such great gear for our athletes and our coaches. And Nancy hasn't gotten her uniform yet, but it's coming soon.
That's what I hear.
How are you getting down to Florida?
That's a great question. We're walking.
You lead the way, Cal.
That'd be a really long walk because you would have left by now.
Fair. No, we are, again, super, super fortunate. And we're actually chartering a flight through Sun Country. And we're just really, really excited about the chance for our entire team to fly down on the same plane. We don't have to break out into small groups and meet up again when we get there. We're all on one plane. We're going to be able to be excited and celebrate together. And even though it's an early morning for our send-off, we're going to meet at 6:15 in the morning and get checked in and then head over to the airport. But yeah, we're chartering a flight. That's the first time I've ever been on a chartered flight, so I'm pretty excited about that and excited everybody can be together and fly down as a team.
That's great. Do you have a lot of other activities planned other than the sports?
Actually, I
do. We have a lot. Kendra, did your team talk about some of the activities you're going to do?
We haven't really talked much about it. I mean, the only thing I really know of are the Disney nights or the Disney days that we go to Disney World. And then we might do some ones like as a team. We might. Yeah, we're not really sure exactly what we're doing.
That's all right. Lucy, has your team talked about extra activities?
No, they haven't yet. But I actually wrote down is putting on to do the rhythmic workshop.
Say that one more time.
The rhythmic workshop.
Rhythmic workshop.
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing one?
Yes, and also the teen gym competition.
Yeah, so one really cool thing about gymnastics is that at the end of the actual competition, they do a team meet, and they also do a team show. And so much like the regular Olympics, where they kind of have fun and bring everybody together at the end and bond together and just show their skills, that our gymnasts will get to do that, which is really fun and unique to gymnastics. Nancy, has your group talked about any of the special activities you guys might be doing?
Not totally, because we were kind of waiting for that coaches meeting tomorrow night to see what other things Kelly has planned, so Mike and I can plan it together.
Fair. Well, I can jump in with a few things. So, one of the fun things about USA Games is that we're, at least for Minnesota, is that we're a big crew. And so when gymnastics gets done for the day, or basketball, their game is over for the day, they can travel over to any of the other sport venues and cheer on Team Minnesota. And so by the end of the week, when all of a sudden there's medal round games going on and finals for track and gymnastics and all these different things, we make sure our coaches communicate with each other and say, hey, if you guys have downtime, come over and cheer on Team Minnesota for whatever's going on. And so by the end of the week, we definitely have big spectator groups at each of our sport venues, which is really, really fun. And so that's one big thing we do. Disney opportunities will be a couple of them. The athlete village this year is going to be, to my understanding, pretty amazing and spectacular, and it will be right at the hotel area. So you walk out your door, and there are going to be tons of activities and different celebration evenings and dances and all kinds of stuff right at our hotel, which will be super convenient for when you're really done for the night and tired, and you can go back to your room and go to sleep. So the athlete village will be a big thing. And then the other big thing is healthy athletes. Healthy athletes at USA Games is a huge thing. And lots of great clinicians giving great advice and education. But those screenings are really cool. And this year, sponsored by Zappos, is that every athlete who goes through Healthy Athletes is going to get a free pair of shoes. And so that's going to be a big draw and something that we want to make sure that our athletes go through while they're down there. So those are kind of the highlights. The other big ones are opening, closing ceremonies. I would be remiss if I didn't mention those. Opening ceremonies is one of the most spectacular events that you'll be a part of, and you will not forget that moment when you're walking out on that field and the whole place is cheering for you, Kendra, and the whole place is cheering for you, Lucy. It's gonna be pretty great, and just super fun. So opening ceremonies, and then I don't know what closing ceremonies will bring in terms of what they're gonna do, but I know will also be a good time to wrap up the week before we head home.
I got to watch the opening ceremonies when it was in Seattle because I was there to give a speech, and that was pretty cool to watch.
That was a spectacular one.
It was, and it was televised as well. And I don't really know if this one's going to be televised. We should probably find that out. It might be on a delay. I think it might be broadcasted, but it might be a delay. But I do know that when Minnesota went out in Seattle, when we marched out onto the field, the broadcast went to commercial. Because everyone back here in Minnesota was all bummed out. We waited this whole time and now it's commercial. But that's how live TV goes. So I think it would be better if it's recorded and broadcasted later.
Yeah, definitely.
We want to see your smiling face come out of that tunnel, Lucy.
Yes. Most of my family and friends want to watch me too. So
definitely. We have a lot of spectators coming down to Florida, and we know we have a lot of people cheering you on from Minnesota too, for all of our teams. So yeah.
That's maybe a good thing to bring up is that people can sign up for the newsletter. I know I signed up for it the other day because I want to stay involved as much as I can from a distance and hear all about what's happening. So if people want to sign up for the newsletter, you can go to our website and then USA Games, and there's a place where you can enter your email address to get e-blasts.
Yeah, if I could just speak to that for one quick second. So our PR department puts together daily newsletter information, stories from our coaches, stories from our athletes, pictures, highlights, all that kind of thing, so that we can communicate back with folks at home, and anyone can be on that list to receive that newsletter. So yes, please go to our website and sign up if you'd like to receive the newsletter. The other thing is, if you want to cheer on Nancy, you want to cheer on Lucy, you want to cheer on Kendra, there's a way to do that via an app this year as well. So if you go to the App Store, I don't know what that's called for something other than Apple, but it's also sold on not sold, it's free, available on other devices, but it's just the USA Games app. And you can search for any coach or athlete. I think coaches will be later, but right now you can search for any athlete or unified partner, and you can follow them throughout the week of the games. And you'll learn how they did in some of their events, what the score of the game was that Kendra was in, how Lucy did on the vault. You can follow any of our athletes along, and you can even send them a cheer message periodically throughout the games via that app. So please go ahead and look for the USA Games app as well as our Special Olympics Minnesota newsletter, and you will be definitely in the know of what's happening with Team Minnesota during the week.
I didn't know that. I'm glad you said that, Kelly. I thought the app was just for people who were going. So I'm glad to hear that we can all participate that way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How did you all get selected?
Okay. I actually had 2 interviews. One with Kelly for the USA Games interview. My second interview was with the Storm from ESPN.
Yeah, it's a little hard to hear you, Lucy. I don't know if you can turn your volume up just a bit. But Lucy was saying she did an interview with me, and then I don't know, some people may have seen that Hannah Storm from ESPN talked to Lucy as well, and had a conversation with her, and then let her know she was selected. So that was a really cool opportunity for Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kendra, do you want to talk about how you were selected?
I had an interview, and then it was kind of after the interview was done, it was kind of just a wait and see from like a draw for the sport I applied for. So it's a process, but it was easy.
A lot of waiting, but it wasn't too painful doing the application, right? Right. How about for coaches, Nancy? I don't know if anyone wants to know maybe the process.
Well, once again, you have to do the application, and then we get interviewed as well. And then we sit on pins and needles and cross our fingers, and hopefully we get picked. And then you never know what sport you're going to get picked in, because we have to list the top 3 choices. So it's wherever Kelly, in this case, wants to put us.
It's more than just me, but yeah. And I know, Nell, if I can talk for a second just about the process in general, because that's usually the question that comes up the most, whether it's from a coach or from an athlete. And it's a little complicated, but if I can simplify it just a bit for everyone, there is a quota that's given to Minnesota, actually given to every state, and every state's quota looks different. Quota basically means that's the spots that our state has been given to be able to fill. And so it's not as easy as, well, I'd like to go in the sport of track and I'd like to run the 100-meter, and anybody can do that. We have to be given that quota spot. And that's just to ensure that there's a good amount of athletes in every sport and in every event once you get to the games, because it's not as much fun if you get there and there's no one else competing against you. We want to make sure that there's good quality competition. So every state is given quota, and it's very specific. It will tell us let's say in this instance, Lucy's spot. So we were told that we had one female gymnast in level 2. That's how specific it is. And so we were told, how many males, how many females, how many for each sport, levels, and there are different levels for every sport. And then what we do is we take that information and we look at who competed at our last state competition and received the gold medal. And that's who is eligible to apply. And I like to explain that when we talk about a sport like bowling. We have a lot of bowlers, right? And so when we get spots, for instance, we got 2 individual male bowlers to be able to go to Orlando and 2 individual female bowlers to be able to go to Orlando. Of our gold medal winners, we had, I think, over 300 people that qualified to apply for those 4 spots. And we have to figure out a way to narrow that down. And so gold medal is one way to narrow it down to some. But then folks have to apply, fill out an application like Lucy and Kendra did. And then we do an interview process because we do have to ensure that athletes are very interested in going, right? But also can be away from home and work. Sometimes work won't let them leave. We all have jobs. Well, a lot of us have jobs. And so we just kind of, interview folks and make sure that everything is squared away. And then if it is, we put all those names in a hat and draw the name out. And so it's random draw when it gets to that point. For coaches, it's a little bit different. Anyone who is certified as a level 2 coach, so that's a sport specifically trained coach, is eligible to apply. But there are so many puzzle pieces to put together with selecting coaches in terms of, depending on our quota, whether we need a female coach or a male coach, or we need 2 coaches or 4 coaches. And so it just becomes a gigantic puzzle that we have to put together. And with coaches, as I mentioned at the beginning, we do try and select some veterans who can help. There's, when you're traveling with 144 people, it's really nice to have a few people who've been through that process before and can assist. And then some new coaches. We want everybody, as many people to have this opportunity as we can. So we like to select a good number of new coaches as well who have never been to USA Games so that we can get them to be our veteran coaches, right? So that's a little bit about the process. Sorry, it's a little bit of a drawn out statement, but it's a question we get often.
Well, one question I've gotten from people is, so if, say, you go for swimming or something, do you compete in the events that you had gotten gold at for qualifying year, or do you get selected for different events?
That's another good question. The way it works now is that you're eligible to apply if you got a gold in one of those sports or one of those events. But once you're selected, we have a certain list of events you have to select from. So for sure, one of those events is going to be something that you've done before and that you got a gold in. But we also want to make sure that you get to experience as much at the games as you can. So we're going to sign you up for as many events within that category as we're allowed to. And that means you might end up being signed up for a sport that might be new, or not a sport, but an event that might be new to you. But you would have been eligible because one of those events is something that you got a gold in before.
Okay. Let's see. What is one thing that you hope to experience at USA Games?
Nancy, anything new you want to experience this time around?
Everything's so new every time, but it's just so fun to watch. The first time people have been there and competing at that level and watch their reaction and see them shine, it's just priceless. And it's the thing that, yes, I get very tired, and as I get older, it takes me 3 weeks to recover, I swear. But it is so worth it to watch everybody get so excited. And I can guarantee you my bocce athletes, no matter what they get on that stand, this is one coach that's going to be in tears because we worked very hard to get there, and it's very much worth it.
Awesome. How about you, Lucy?
Mine is to meet the ambassadors.
Just to be the ambassador. That shows the leader you are, right?
Yes, it's to meet the ambassadors. Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Kendra?
I'm hoping to experience it all. I mean, it's my first USA Games, so I'm looking forward to everything, competing and everything else we get to do.
Mm-hmm. You're going to look around with your mouth wide open half the time. It's just, yeah, yep. Can't believe I'm here, right?
Right.
And hopefully you guys both get to experience a gold medal. We're gonna be hoping for that for you.
You do your best, and you come home with whatever you earned, and it will be well earned, for sure.
For sure.
Do you have family coming to cheer you on?
Actually, yes. My friend coming. Most of my friends are watching on TV.
Awesome. Family coming and friends watching on TV. Perfect. Yes. How about you, Kendra?
My mom's coming, and then the rest of my family will be back here in Minnesota watching on TV.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very cool.
Let's see. What is your number one goal at USA Games?
I can go. Is to get all gold medals.
High goals. I like it.
Great.
Love it.
And to qualify again for 2026 in Minnesota.
Your goal is gold medals and to qualify again. Those are good goals, Lucy.
Yeah.
But you, Kendra?
My goals for the USA Games would be go there, have fun, and do the best that I possibly can. Even if competition gets tough, I'd still give it 100% and push through it the best that I can. And as long as I tried and had fun, that's all that matters.
That's us. That's right.
Nancy, do you have a goal?
My goal is to make sure everybody has as much fun as they can, including myself. Some of my athletes keep talking about all those rides in the park, and yeah, we'll see if Nancy gets on the rides in the park, but it's all good. But we're going to have a good time. I can guarantee you everybody's going to see lots of smiles and yawns towards the end of the week, but it's so worth it. You will have a blast, ladies.
Do you have a favorite Disney character or favorite Disney movie?
My favorite movie is Cinderella.
Cinderella. That's a
classic. That's a classic one.
How about you, Kendra?
My favorite Disney character is Minnie and Mickey Mouse.
Also classic.
Yep.
There you go. How about you, Nancy? You big Disney fan?
Well, I guess my favorite movie would be Pete's Dragon, but some of these people are way too young to remember that one.
Fair. My favorite movie is Zootopia.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
I love that one.
I've not seen that one.
Oh, you got to see it now.
We're going to have to make that happen.
Yeah.
A staff movie day. There we go.
There we go.
Let's see. I think that's all the questions I have.
Awesome. Lucy, any questions you have or any comments you have for the crew? Or for your public?
I have no questions though, but for preparing for USA Games is I was practicing with my team for USA Games, for gymnastics. Yeah, I've been taking private lessons. I've been doing 400 courses a day.
I missed the last part. You've been doing.
I've been doing 400 courses.
Wow. Okay, I can't compete with that.
Me neither, Kelly. You're out of my league, Lucy.
Exactly.
I've been taking private lessons too.
Wow. Excellent. Excellent. I know your coach is expecting lots of training. She's been working you guys pretty hard, but it sounds like you've been having a good time and getting ready.
Yeah, definitely. I go back and forth to my teams.
Awesome. Yeah. So the coach for gymnastics is out in Maple Plain. So Lucy's been traveling across the cities over to Maple Plain to make sure she gets her practices in. Awesome. Kendra, any parting words?
I can't think of anything. I'm just really excited to go to the USA Games.
Me
The
too.
countdown is on, right? We're counting down now. We're getting close.
We are. I have several athletes who have been sending me the countdown from time to time. So they're making me a little nervous.
Surprise me.
But I'm glad they're excited. We're excited for them. Nancy and the rest of the coaches, we're going to meet tomorrow night and make sure we have all of our ducks in a row. Make sure we've got you guys handled and covered for whatever you need and what we need to do in order to ensure you have a fabulous time. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on behind the scenes so that when we get to that send off, we're ready to roll.
Well, thank you guys, and I wish all of you the best of luck and have the best of time.
Will do.
Thank you, Nell.
Thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
I had to unmute myself. I just want to say thanks, all of you, for being here with Nell and I today. We're so excited for every athlete and coach and staff who gets to go. And we're all going to be rooting on you all on and cheering you all on up here in Minnesota for sure. So we wish you a great, great time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.